Hi everyone, I'm Jeff with megamixing.com, and this is part two of a series. If you missed the first part, please go back and watch that. That was about blending snares, and it's applicable to all pieces of the drum kit and actually other instruments for that matter. Um, so today I'm going to talk about electric guitars, and this is just a prelude to the next video where we actually are going to go over the guitars, but it's really important so you understand what I did in that video. Um, any A-list engineer that I've ever worked with, they've all talked about one thing when it comes to capturing a great sound, and that is getting air to move the capsule of a microphone. Whether it be the breath of a vocal, the crack of a drum, a cranked amplifier, the air coming out of that amp and moving the capsule of a microphone. When that happens, that stimulates the best result. This is why amp emulations are sometimes frowned upon. The new school of thought is, how can I simulate that air being moved without having to mic up a cabinet? And here's a great workaround. I love impulse responses. I actually mic'd up cabs for this song that we're working on right now, and it becomes such a pain, especially if the original recording doesn't match the environment of the rest of the instruments. Then you have to rely on heavy EQing, which introduces noise into the signal path, and it just complicates things. So here's what I recommend. Go out of your guitar with a 1/4-inch cable like you normally would, and you got to split the signal. So you can just go into like a regular guitar pedal, like just a simple, there's a flanger pedal. Obviously you don't want to turn it on, you don't want the effect, but you're just going to go into here like you normally would and come out of here and go right into your DAW with it. Direct line, DI in, and you'll have your preserved signal, that you'll capture the original performance. There'll be nothing influencing that signal, and you could always have that to run out and reamp or run through amp sims if you want at any other time. That's how I recommend you do what you do with the first signal. The second signal, you're going to come out of the other output here. So the first one went out here, the second one's coming out here, and you're going to go directly into your amp head. From the amp head, you are going to go into a load box. Now, what I'm going to say here is critical in my professional opinion. There's a lot of load boxes out there. I've used them, Palmer speaker simulators, Torpedo, and the results that you get from them are okay, but that's just kind of it. They're just okay. Those are filled with capacitors, and what happens is the signal coming out of your head, the amp head, goes directly into that, and it gets degraded before it gets to your DAW. So what I recommend is a reactive load. I'm no way affiliated with these guys, but my piece of equipment of choice is this Shure reactive load, and it's very simple. You plug in, you take your guitar, as I mentioned, routing it into the amp, and from the amp you go into here, and from out of here you connect a cable and go right into your DAW. This is going to keep your signal pure and original. And then what my secret weapon is I like Owens Hammer impulse responses. Impulse responses are amazing. It's like I said, it's my secret weapon. Please do your research on them. There's a ton of them out there, all different makers. I like Owens Hammer, and just have a blast. Swapping out cabs, swapping out mics to those cabs. What happens is they capture the response curve of that mic'd cab with incredible accuracy versus emulating an amplifier. emulating an amplifier is very different than emulating that amplifier into a cab that has been mic'd. I know there's been a lot of attempts at doing this in different emulations. It just doesn't have the same punch, the same feel. This, my friends, is the future. So I've used amp sims, which I'll show you in the next video, and those sims, they sounded okay, but I've even put impulse responses on top of those. We're talking a simulated amp, a simulated cab, and then I put an impulse response of a mic'd cab on top of that, and that just the electric guitar just comes to life, and it occupies a space that only a mic'd cab could provide. Now, there's still a couple of pitfalls that you have to be aware of, but I'll go over that in the next video when we get into the guitars. But that's really what I wanted to cover in this video, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.